So with the Peacemaker Season 2 finale coming out next Friday, and I just can't wait to see how that show ends. I'm really enjoying it. I have my main problems with it. I made video on it, so that's not the topic to today. But in this video, I'm going to be talking about the chronological order to watch the DCU, and I will include the 2026 releases and the Man of Tomorrow, the next Superman movie. But before we start, there isn't a official timeline for this. This is just what I've made, and there are going to be some very difficulty because this timeline is very messy. Because first, some of the movies were a part of the DCEU, the Man of Steel, the Zack Snyderverse, but James Gunn made them and took parts of them into his new DCU. So yeah, this is very messy, but I will make it as clean as possible for you guys and explain everything as we go on. So yeah, without anything further to say, let's get started. So the first movie in this universe, as I said, it's a little bit messy, is a movie that originally belonged to the DCEU, and that is The Suicide Squad, directed by James Gunn in the year 2021, not the 2016 one. But for this movie, we know that the main content of it is all canon. They going fighting Starro and obviously Peacemaker killing Rick Flag Jr. But for the characters that were on this team, we don't really know. We only know that Peacemaker was on this team and King Shark because he was in Creature Commandos. But other than that, we don't really have an idea on what characters were on the team. But maybe this is just the exact canon. We haven't gotten any official confirmation on that. But yeah, that Suicide Squad is the first movie of this universe. Following up with Peacemaker in the Suicide Squad, we go straight into Season 1 of Peacemaker, which is also a project that belonged originally to the DCEU, but is now taken to the DCU. And I think pretty much everything is canon except for the end scene with the Justice League. Instead of the Justice League, it's the Justice Gang with Hawkgirl, Guy Gardner, Mr. Terrific, Superman, and Supergirl. So yeah, other than that, the entire show is canon to the DCU. And now we move on to a gray side of this universe, and that is the Blue Beetle movie from 2023. I thought it was going to be fully a part of the DCU because I remember them saying that when the movie came out, but obviously it belonged to the DCEU originally. But we know that Xolo Maridueña is returning as the character in the animated series for Blue Beetle. So as of today, we don't really know if anything in the movie is canon. We know that the character is canon, so he's not changing the actor at all, but I think this movie is canon because it doesn't really have anything that ties to the DCEU. But only time will tell. But I think this is 100% canon. But here it goes to my official canon of the universe, or chronological order, because we don't really know where the Clayface movie takes place in this universe. I've done some research and I've seen that the Clayface in the Clayface movie is the same Clayface in Creature Commandos, and his name is Matt Hagen, but I haven't heard it from James Gunn or anyone directed the movie. I've just done some research with Google and the search engines and whatever, and I have come to the conclusion that is Matt Hagen. And we know, if you haven't seen Creature Commandos, small spoiler alert, but Clayface shows up in that show in his full form. So the Clayface movie is supposed to be his origin story, a body horror movie about him. So that movie must take place before Creature Commandos, so I'm putting it in right here. We don't particularly know when, but this movie takes place anywhere between here and all the way back before the Suicide Squad. We don't really know, but you have to watch it before Creature Commandos, or you don't really have to, but if you're watching in the chronological order, it would be best because it takes place before that show. Talking about Creature Commandos, as I said earlier, I didn't really know where to put the Clayface movie at, but I just wanted to put it right before Creature Commandos. And Creature Commandos is up and the first official show of the DCU. And everything mentioned and everything that happens in that show is 100% canon to the DCU. And everything we talk about now up is 100% canon to the DCU. After you watch Creature Commandos, you go straight into the only movie that has currently been released that is 100% canon, Superman. As I said, everything you see in Superman is 100% canon. After Superman, you move into the newest project as of the time recording, and that is Peacemaker Season 2, which, as I said in the beginning of the video, we are still waiting for the finale. So yeah, that comes Friday. And now we move on to the newer projects which aren't currently released, but I just put in there as the release date of the show and movie. So when they come out, you can watch this like this. So after Peacemaker Season 2, we have The Lanterns, the TV show. I'm really excited for that, but I hate how they did Hal Jordan because he's one of my favorite characters of all time, so I don't really like that. And when you're done with Lanterns, you go straight into Supergirl, which is completely because I thought Supergirl took place right after Superman, but we just have to wait and see. And then you move on to Superman Man of Tomorrow, which is also supposed to take